Hey Gareth, how's it going? Can you hear me? Hello? Um, Hey
Hey
Gareth,
Brian, how's it going?
good. How are you? You recovering from salt comp? Can
Uh,
you hear me? Okay.
my audio has gone funny apparently.
Uh,
There we go. Can you hear me
better.
okay?
Yeah, I can hear you. Can you hear
Yeah,
me?
Zoom decided to just mute everything.
Oh, sure. That happens. So how's the VMware thing? You guys have to do anything for that yet, or
There's been a
still early?
few, yeah, there's been a few things, like few requests, like going into open, but so far, like just like our days are pretty normal.
Sure.
A lot more meetings, but
Yeah, I bet.
yeah, pretty normal, pretty straightforward.
Do they use Zoom too, or do they have their own conference tool or something?
No, we use Zoom.
Yeah.
Actually, it's funny, like a bunch of people, I guess the default is to use Teams, Microsoft's video conferencing.
Yeah.
But there's some teams, some
Everything.
like parts of VMware that they're using Zoom. Um,
Yeah.
so we're
Teams has gotten better, but yeah, I see that a lot for
yeah.
places
I
that
mean,
go.
it makes sense. Like if you're in an organization that's like using the whole Office suite,
Yeah.
right?
Yep.
It's kind of built into it.
Yeah. Well, it looks like we have um, the the macOS package coincide now. So Shane worked
Nice.
on. I tested it and it looks good to me. So I think he released a new package with a different name, and then for the aluminum release, it'll be uh, just default will be signed.
That's awesome.
So,
So
yeah,
that means like you don't get the warning unknown source when you install it,
yep,
right? On
yep. It will
macOS.
pass Gatekeeper. It's notarized, um, and then you'll also be able to use Salt to manage things that might require a TCC control, also known as PPPC, transparency, consent, and control, or privacy preferences, something payload. Um, those two things are just they will pertain to things that live usually in user space. So if you're trying to set a preference or some kind of configuration that might hit some of those areas, oops, sorry about that. That was
No
loud.
problem.
um, yeah, if you hit some of those areas, then it will require the process calling it to be code signed because you need to whitelist it via an MDM profile.
Hmm.
So, like for one use case, I have disabling remote Apple events, which is a security control. Doing that with Salt's Python is possible, but that Python has to be code signed to be able to be given the permission to run a system process. It's kind of convoluted, but yeah, long story short, it's a good thing. So, and it brings it in line with other frameworks that like Chef, I think, has already taken that step. So
Mhm.
it'll be good going forward for changes to the architecture. And yeah.
Nice. Yeah, no, it sounds like it's a good addition. Good fix to have in place.
Yeah, one thing I was going to try to look up was where the code for the salt versions report lives, because it would be nice to put Pi Objective C on there, because we're going to need to upgrade that for compatibility with M1 Apple Silicon.
Mhm.
And it would be nice to have that like in bugs and whatnot, when people might encounter something where they're on a non-compatible version. Not that we get a ton of Mac bugs, but so I suppose the initial asks for you guys have been a lot of cloud stuff, right? Probably.
There have been, yeah, some cloud related requests. VMware's like full on in cloud.
Yep. Yeah, we use them for MDM. I think Wes does too.
Yeah, we talked about that before. That was actually one of the things I was going to mention to you and Wes and Shay, if he was going to show up, was at one point there had been talk of adding a some sort of salt component, either like a proxy minion or like a module to talk to like MDM services.
Yeah, I think he got something POC'd, or him and Shaded. Not sure.
Okay.
Oh, there he is.
Hey, Wes.
Speaking of the man.
Excellent timing.
He knows when you're sleeping. He knows when you're awake.
Right. Yeah, and you're muted.
Oh, whoops. I was going to say, I was like talking and nobody's responding. I'm like, well, this is kind of awkward. What's up?
Your Mac tower, Apple box tower behind you is growing.
Oh, yeah.
Additions.
I figured I had to go like really old and then like really new. So that's like the developer transition kit. And then this is the new Apple M1 box.
Nice.
Mainly because I just had them lying around and I was like, do I throw them away? What do I do with them?
Stack them, obviously.
Yeah, keep going. I mean, I got a little more to go.
Right.
Do I have any other boxes around here? I don't think so. I'll have to get some years in.
I was just telling Brian in the last, I don't know if it was the last one or the one before that, the one of the recent open hours, we had someone ask about using Salt with MDM services. And I said how like you guys, macOS working group, had been kicking around the idea of doing something with like other proxy minion or a like a module to interact in some way with MDM.
Yeah, we've been having a lot of fun with it recently. Our first approach was to do like a proxy minion service per device, like doing a 1-to-1 ratio.
Yeah.
And now we're just like, do we just have the proxy minion manage the MDM server, just period? So like, instead of trying to manage each individual device through like the proxy service, just to manage the MDM as a whole. And I think that's what we're going to go with. It seems like it's a little bit, I don't want to say easier, but feasible, I suppose.
Yeah,
at first.
I remember when we were talking about it last time, it seemed like that way made more sense considering how MDM worked. Like, it's like you my understanding is like you tell MDM to do something and then it goes out and basically fans the command out or the request out to all the devices, rather than you go from, like, say Salt, for example, to the MDM service, or like, rather than you like targeting each individual device, it makes more sense to go to the one service and then use it to less redundancy.
Yeah, it's I mean, we'll see. MDM as a whole was just awful. It was not designed in a stateful manner at all. It was a send a command once, pray to God it does what you told it to do, and then that's it.
Right.
And then you walk away and you're just like, well, that's great.
Worked.
Yeah.
I don't always tell UDP jokes.
Yeah, but when I do. So yeah, no, that's one of the fun things where we've been messing around with. I know I think everyone's just kind of messing with the M1 stuff at the moment. I mean, Salt works under Rosetta, so that's good. But well, Brian, I'm sure you saw that the new Salt package is now signed and notarized. To your heart's content.
Yeah. I tested that with Shane.
We were just talking about that right before you joined. Brian was going through some of the benefits of having the signed package now.
Yeah, I'm not going to tell anybody that it is now, because I like not doing the things that you can do with it now.
Fair enough.
Yeah, it was just like, people are just like, oh, can you put this on like the user's desktop folder? And I'm like, no, I can't.
I mean, we're not going to, I'm not gonna, I'd just tell people it's not possible.
Yeah, that's what I do. I'm just like, no, Apple doesn't want you to do that. So no.
And users don't want you to do that.
Yeah, exactly. that as well. Oh, what is this? Scheduling made easy. Thanks, Zoom. Anywho, what's new in Saltland?
We had one thing I was going to bring up, but it may not be related to anything that's necessarily Mac related. So we recently switched the last month or so. All the tests are now using PyTest by default.
Oh, sweet, yeah.
And so we have there's an open PR to add supports, I think, to run them on Big Sur. So I know you guys have done like a lot of work to get Salt running on Big Sur. This just adds it into the test suite.
Sweet.
And so we have some failing tests because it's timing out.
Oh, interesting.
So let me link the PR. So I don't know if anyone on the open team has dived into it yet. But it looks like this one ran for like 25 minutes and then at some point just timed out. The last run, 30 minutes. It would, times out after 30 minutes.
Let's see here.
I mean, it looks like it's also timing out on the other versions too, Mojave and Catalina. Not necessarily a big SIR thing.
Let's see what did it say what it timed out on? Where is console output? Do.
Looks like it's a SSH timeout.
Exit code 0. Well, that's good.
Nasty core dump there. Yeah, if you're looking at what I'm looking at here.
Yeah, I'm looking at the Catalina fast builds. Okay, yeah.
So that's the output of the last run on Big Sur. Looks like the last test it ran, that it caused a pretty nasty looking traceback, was
scrolling
0MQ.
Oh, wait, is this building salt from scratch?
No, this is just running tests.
Why was it?
Yeah, it looks like that's the same one.
Why did I see pip compile stuff? Or is that just a pip test?
Oh, it's probably installing stuff from pip. These are PR. This is running the PR tests. So it is.
Okay. Yeah.
It is. Yes, running salt, not from packages.
Okay, gotcha. Test integration. Every single time I see the double colon, I'm like, oh Lord, Ruby, you are around. I was interviewing somebody for our team to do Windows, and they did the programming piece in Ruby, and I was just like, all right, well, this is going to be fun for both of us because I haven't touched Ruby in years, and just both stumbling through the interview.
Nice.
I'm like, well, this was entertaining.
Yeah, I think the last time I used it was for Puppet, which is a lot.
Yeah, same here.
Poupette. All right, down towards the bottom.
Hey, we're not the only ones running an Artifactory PyPI repo in Artifactory.
Let's see here. Failed to load function MacUtils available services because its module MacUtils is not in the whitelist. Is there a
Which one are you looking at?
I don't know. I just kind of scrolled down until I saw a bunch of errors. I'm at timestamp. I'm in the one you linked. Timestamp is 10:47:31.
10:37, you said?
10:47.
10:47.
It looks like there's a list of whitelisted modules. And it's Bodo, Bodo 3, ARG, Systemd, Path, Platform, and Reg. So if the available services module collapses, then that would definitely cause a bunch of problems.
$1047.31, you said?
Yep, 10:47:31 on the job you linked to.
I don't see that.
There are multiple days here.
I hope not.
Yeah, that would be.
Oh, I see it. Okay. Oh, got it. Okay, I'm good. So the wait list.
I mean, I can see a lot of tests not working if there's a specific whitelist for this.
I don't know if this is. I don't know if this is the fatal one. The one I was referring to is like all the way near the bottom.
Do. Keep going.
It's like right before.
Is there an error or a warning or something in the string, or you said it was a traceback?
Yeah. Let me link the timestamp. The last test is it's the 0MQ test underscore 0MQ dot pi.
Why will you not let me copy Zoom? What the heck?
My Zoom used to do that too. It still does sometimes.
If you're in the client, that's a configurable setting in the admin console. So
Oh,
depending on your org, they may have been like, but fun fact, if you right click the text and then choose services, you can open it in a text editor that supports services like BBEd.
oh.
So we used to have that disabled, and then I was like, oh, this is an easy way to get around it.
Open man page and terminal. I mean, does that literally just do a? Oh, but it gives it some weird. What the heck? Add to-do list. Wait, does this work? I'm gonna laugh.
Do you want me to just Slack it to you?
Yeah, probably. Because that's weird, not being able. I mean, I probably could have typed it out by now, but.
All right, popped it in the macOS channel.
Woohoo! Yeah, that's much better.
Using one technology to circumvent another's
Muchas gracias.
downfalls.
Okay, let's see here.
Yeah, I won't miss the days I don't have to use Jenkins for stuff. But
Yeah, I don't know if I see us getting rid of it anytime soon.
yeah, same here, but I mean, do you guys SSH into machines from Jenkins to do tests? Did I see some of that in here?
We use Kitchen, so yes, Kitchen Salt uses SSH to actually SSH in and do it.
Yeah, so then you could put that in any kind of, that wouldn't have to live in Jenkins because there's plugins for other.
Is this failing on other OSs too? I saw that a bunch of them failed on.
I didn't check the others. I just checked the two macOS ones. It doesn't look like that particular test is failing on others.
Because there's a bunch of Ubuntu, this commit cannot be built. I guess that's different from.
There's a bunch of failures. Oh wait, here's a timeout.
Because I don't.
Let me see if it's the same.
Like, I mean, in me building the macOS package, 0MQ has always been flaky. So yeah, I'm not entirely sure. Because I mean, it's definitely a 0MQ test. Transport assertion failed. Well, if it helps, that assertion is definitely in multiple GitHub issues.
Oh, this assertion failed. N bytes equals size
Yeah.
of dummy.
Yeah, I saw it in a few too.
And it was definitely macOS related on one of the issues. I mean, dating back to 2016.
Yeah, that's what I'm looking at on the libzmq.
Yeah.
One of these says, it happens when you close a thread safe socket without first removing it from the polar and then close the polar, which makes sense in theory to me, but I don't use 0MQ. So I wonder if the teardown method in there closes something before it's removed. Because on like 105027, there's that warning about deleting extra class attribute. Please use self message client rule on the test case teardown method. So I wonder if that's something to look at.
Sorry, Brian, what one were you looking at? Oh, you pasted it.
Yeah, there's just complaint. So I wonder if that method's doing something that's affecting the following functions that's failing it.
Could be. That's one of the previous tests, right? At the looks of it.
Yeah,
it's
it's
in the
test
send.
Test 0MQ. But it's the same test that aborts.
Yeah.
So it's one of the unit tests. Does that build produce like a 0MQ log somewhere?
I don't think so. I'm not sure. No. There are a bunch of logs, but I don't know if any of them are 0MQ specific or have 0MQ related things in them.
So does this get opened as an issue, or is this just an internal kind of issue for you guys?
So it's, I mean, these failing tests are part of a PR. So, and it's one of the core members' PRs. So it's one of those ones we're just watching.
Oh, okay.
Usually, like, we only, like, failing tests, we'll open issues if they're on like the branch tests or the package building tests. Usually not so much on PR tests, because hopefully someone is, like, if someone puts in a PR and there's failing tests, hopefully they're watching the failing tests.
All I know is I spent way too many hours trying to figure out 0MQ, trying to build that on macOS, at least the tests. It is horrific.
Yeah, it's pretty challenging.
My recommendation is, I mean, if it's a 0MQ test, then there's, like, I mean, we should probably just open an issue with them. Who knows if they actually, are we on the right version of 0MQ for Big Sur? That's probably a good question.
I don't know, but I mean, like, we're seeing the same thing on Catalina as well. But that might
maybe
be
it was just a one-time
similar
thing. Try rerunning the job.
This is the third time it's run.
Oh, it is. Yeah. Damn
I
it!
think they've failed. Yeah.
My easy out. Crap.
Well, actually, looks like the previous ones did finish. They didn't time out, so maybe we could try rerunning it. Let me see the Big Sur ones. Yeah, I think the Big Sur ones are all timed out.
Wes, didn't you guys hire Tim Sutton for like CI/CD stuff or something?
Sorry,
yeah,
what?
Tim works here. I try not to bother him though.
Oh.
It's like, get him in the Salt group. No.
I have been trying to, I told him that I would rewrite all of their Ansible playbooks in Salt, which would take like 5 minutes.
Yeah.
If he wanted to, like, just because he inherited this like disastrous Ansible stack. And I'm just like, I'll rewrite every single one of those playbooks into Salt States in a day for you, and just like, here you go, if you want to move over. And he hasn't taken me up on it yet.
Yeah.
So I don't know. Where is?
I gotta drop for another meeting, guys, but I'll keep following the channel and see where this goes.
All right, sounds good.
All right. Later.
Okay, later. Looks like there's a bunch of failures on the other OSs too. Skip. Wait, why did these fail? Unicode scan.
Yeah, there were a couple. Not. I only saw one other timeout, and it wasn't. It wasn't the same. The same timeout.
Yeah, I mean, I wish it was macOS specific code that was failing. That would be significantly easier.
Mhm. Yeah, I mean, the one thing I have noticed is big PyTest is a lot less forgiving when like asserts fail. So maybe we're just hitting a failure there, and then it's just blowing up and bailing out early rather than continuing to run the rest of them.
Yeah, it doesn't. Yeah, I don't think this is really. If it's failing on. So it's definitely not Big Sur related because it's failing on the other OSs. And it. What changed in this PR? Let's probably look at that.
It's basically just adding in Big Sur support into the CI/CD files.
Oh, gotcha. Yeah, you're right. So what's the. So if this is Test Kitchen, they're spinning up a VM like on the fly, right, to run these.
Yeah.
Okay. Is the VM, is it like logged in as a user? Is it like sitting at the login window? Do you know?
I don't know. I assume it's at the log, or I assume, well, it logs in using SSH. It logs in using a specific user, a Jenkins user.
Yeah, I'm wondering if that Jenkins user has a GUI session. So like, you know how you can like SSH into a box, right? And you literally just have a shell, right? There's no like GUI session for that. Like somebody could be at the box with like a mouse and keyboard.
Right.
Mac OS is very finicky sometimes, depending on like what you're running. Like, is there actually a GUI session running? If not, like things act very strange. Or just, things weren't meant to run in a state outside of, just a shell in the background. And most code a lot of times on macOS makes an assumption that there is somebody logged in, like GUI wise. So that's one of the interesting things about some of these tests, but I doubt that's really related to this per se.
anything? Look. All right, so it looks like we are seeing the same thing on, yeah, it's the same test. On the regular branch builds for not Big Sur yet, but Catalina at least. So it's not related to that PR.
Okay. Yeah, that makes sense.
And we don't see it as often because it's a slow test. So we wouldn't see it on every single PR, just on the slow test builds. Okay. So I guess it's a larger issue.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I mean, this error is definitely happening for a bunch of other people in different projects, all related to 0MQ.
Mm-hmm.
So that's fun. Oh, 0MQ. Oh, wow. Yeah, that is interesting. The last log of that traceback is at 1050, and then all of a sudden it just times out at 1128.
Yeah.
Huh. Oh, side question. The salt, like all the salt installs all share the same like pip and requirements stuff, correct? So like
all the salt installs.
So like, you know how on macOS you can install it either a la the package that we mostly maintain. You can install it a la brew, which seems like that's just what's his face in the channel. And then there's the pip option as well. So you can like pip install salt, right?
Yeah.
Somebody was saying that PyObjective-C was acting funny on pip install for salt on macOS. Can we remove that for the pip install piece?
Oh, remove PyObjective-C
from just
requirements?
From just the pip requirements for like if you do pip install. I don't know if that's possible or not. Because I know like in the build script we have it there, but I'm not too familiar with that process. So that's why I was curious.
Just looking to see where that is. Oh, darn. Oh, I see. Yeah.
Because we use this, right, whenever we build the actual package.
Right.
But I'm not sure how the actual pip install, like where that comes from. Like not like the pip install for this requirements file, but like if somebody runs pip install salt, I guess that's in the, is that in the PyPy package maybe?
I would think so, yes. Whatever's pushed up to PyPy would have that. So the person that reported it said they were having an issue when they install via PyPy or via pip. But we don't have the issue from packages that are built from similar requirements. Is there like a difference in their versions maybe?
That's the thing, is I don't know where the PyPy package requirements come from.
Got it. Yeah, I'm not 100% sure.
Because like the fourth option for installing salt on macOS in this doc is pip, which yeah, I must feel like we should get rid of everything else, but people do fun things.
I guess maybe it would be potentially in this. So like on PyPy for salts, there's the, like if all the way at the bottom of the page, there's the download files, and that's a big tarball. potentially in there.
I mean, I'm assuming that's just the God, macOS does not like tar GZ files at all. Oh, maybe there it goes. Okay, yeah.
Okay, I guess this is potentially it.
So there is a Darwin requirements.txt.
Yeah, there's a couple of them. So there's like, if you look at I'm looking at the one from requirement static package pi 3.7 darwin.txt. And it looks like it is a combination of the one that you referenced, the requirements pi Objective-C, as well as the requirements Darwin.txt, as well as the requirements static package Darwin.in. So I'm guessing it's pulling in, when you pip install it, it's pulling in all of these. It's going to basically use whatever one is appropriate for the version of Python you're running.
Yeah. Okay. So technically, we should be able to. We can just remove this, right? Because the way that we're doing, the way that we're doing the Pi Objective-C stuff, it may not have wheels for certain OS versions depending on what they're running on, and if there's a requirement set for that version, because if they're running something older, then it's definitely going to fail. So I think removing Pi Objective-C altogether from the pip is probably the best move. But now the question is, where is the actual repo for this?
I guess my main question would be like, what about like the specific of installing it via pip isn't working, and can we fix it?
Well, so let me see if I can find that issue. Yeah, this issue here.
Oh, okay.
Oh, and they're using native Pi 3 too. Interesting.
And Salt SSH.
Yeah.
And in a virtual env. I think the obvious solution here is for them to run this in Docker, because it adds that extra level of complexity.
If only. Um, yeah, see, it's trying to do uh, a Pi Objective C library that's only for 1014.
Yeah, I see that. Okay, so this is okay. I think I see now. So this is using this. So this is like a requirements issue, right? This
Yeah.
is like the wrong version of the requirements.
Yeah,
Right version
so
of Python, but it's trying to install something, as you said, that's only supported on a newer
1014.
version of macOS than they're running.
Yeah, well, it actually technically only runs on older versions of macOS
Oh,
that
okay.
they're on the latest. Does that make sense? Because there are so many different. So like the Pi Objective C library gives you access to frameworks natively in the OS. So like if Apple removes a framework, then the maintainer of Pi Objective C removes the code for that framework because it's no longer needed or won't allow you to install it on a newer version, right?
Got it.
So, yeah.
So I remember like a couple months ago we were talking about like building packages, and the idea was like to build it on the oldest supported version of macOS because it would run on the later versions. And we don't run into problems there because once you've built it, it's fine. You can take it and you can install it.
Yeah. It'll still be there, it just won't run, right? But in this case, they're trying to compile it on a newer OS, and that's why it's just like, no, because we actually compile it on an older version.
Right.
So, yeah, either removing, I say we just remove Pi Objective C from pip and brew altogether. And they've already removed it from brew. Or just change the actual requirements file.
Yeah. I mean, I'm kind of thinking too, like whatever this particular Pi Objective C thing that's failing on the newer version of macOS, do we even need it? Should we just remove that from the requirements file? Not all of Pi Objective C, but like just this specific piece.
Yeah, I mean, technically we could. So right now we have this pip compile file, right? You know how it does all the sub. It does all the sub Pi Objective C packages, and then it has their specific version. So we have all those listed out right now in this like PyPy package. I think the move, if we want to keep it. Oh, hi, kitty. Show the kitty. Hi. I think the move would be to either remove PyObjective-C altogether because there aren't actually any core libraries that depend on it yet. Or option 2, we remove the specific pinning of submodules and versions, and we just do a simple pip install PyObjective-C, and then we let the natural upstream like requirements and compile do its thing.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yeah. So rather than have each specific PyObjective-C package in the file, we just say like all of PyObjective-C, and then the newer versions will grab the right, like each version will grab whatever the appropriate packages are.
We're pinning all of the children packages and their versions, right? So I think we should just at the top, instead of like caring about all the children, we just do the parent, and we're just like, pip install PyObjective-C, and then that's it. And then that PyPy package will handle all of the children, instead of us trying to do it for it, or us setting requirements for children that actually aren't there.
Right. Yeah, that makes sense. The only argument I could see, the pushback that would come from that is, like the reason we pin versions is to get that predictability and that stability.
The only other thing, we can still pin a version. We're just not pinning children.
Right. Yeah, no, that's true.
I think the pinning the children is the problem we're getting into. We can continue to pin the version. That's totally fine.
Yeah.
I just don't even know where is this actual repo at?
Which one? Which repo?
For the PyPy package.
Oh, wouldn't it be?
Is it in the core salt repo?
That's where all the requirements are.
So let's see here.
Should be. I don't know if this is what you're looking for. I can use Slack too, just so it's easier.
Yeah. What builds this? Oh, okay. This was added by, what is Soundtext? Pedro. That's right.
Pedro.
Yeah, this was added by Pedro a few months ago. And then, yeah, and so this is a fun issue because the reason we did this in the first place is because Salt has a very strict library dependency checker, and some of the libraries that technically it requires, like some of the libraries that PyObjective-C requires for some of the children, weren't there because of the version of the OS that we were building it on. So we did this to try and get all the children for all the different OS versions inside of the package. So yeah, I guess this is a house of cards that we decided to build ourselves. Lovely, 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 lovely. I don't know. What do you think? I'm in favor of probably just removing it completely.
Yeah. Yeah, that might be a better way to go. Because as you said, like if it's not being used currently,
There's no point in putting it there.
There's not a huge benefit to it. And then
Yeah.
when the packages are built, you can get they can be included at that point.
Yeah. If I mean, like I added it originally to the macOS package, like the one that gets built and published, because like it really helps us, and super thankful that you guys were okay with that, and we've managed to fix some of the issues that it's called, but like I don't use the pip install of Salt at all, or the homebrew version. And I don't think anybody that does cares that it's there. So removing it probably is the best option.
Yeah. Yeah, probably.
Is Pedro's probably offline already, isn't he?
What time is it in Portugal? Oh, maybe not. 7:12. Let me see if he's about. So it looks like in that I'm just looking at the Darwin file for 3.7, and I assume the other ones are the same. It looks like we go through like every single PyObjective-C child, as you said, pinning it to a specific version. But then at the very end, we also pin the whole PyObjective-C package as well.
Yeah.
So we could just like one thing would just be to remove all of this.
Remove lines 48 through 163.
Right. Yeah, just have that one package. Yeah, he's not responding. He might be just away from his. It shows it online, but he just might be away from his desk.
Yeah, it's understandable. All right. I guess I can open a pull request, just removing it, and then I'm sure Pedro will comment on it.
Yeah, I'll if and when he does respond, I'll mention that idea to him, just so he's like has a heads up of seeing that PR.
Yeah.
Kind of the motivation behind it.
Yeah, if there was it's just tricky because of all the different children being on different OSs and you trying to build it on an OS version where the children doesn't exist or can't exist. The whole square peg round hole thing. Then no bueno. But
yeah, no, that totally does make sense.
So, all right, dude. Well, I've got to go deal with security people. So,
all right, have fun.
Yeah. Did VMware guys give you new computers?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it was that whole we're recording. Let me stop. Can I stop recording? No. Apparently I'm not the host. I'm supposed to be the host. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, there's some funny stories behind
Sure.
that.
Well, we can talk about that later.
Yeah. Yeah. Totally.
All right, bud. It's good to see you.
Yeah. Likewise.
Happy holidays.
Yeah. Same to you.
And we'll see you in the new year, I guess.
Sounds good.
All right, later, bud.
Bye.